Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back to my podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I wanted to share some of these tips with you because I think that, when you are posting on social media, and this is for my entrepreneurs, my small business owners, or, even people who are on social media for, the fun aspect of it, for leisure, I think this is, if you kind of follow through some of these steps, especially for my business folks, I think it'll be much more helpful for you and where you're going with your brand. So one of the things that you should consider before you share a post on your social media, think, what is the purpose of the post? What is it that you're hoping that post is going to do? What's your end? When you hear business people say, what's your end goal? What is your goal with that post? Are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to entertain? Are you trying to teach? What is the goal of that post, right? The purpose. Also, who is the post for? This is something that I think a lot of people who may not understand who their target audience is, right? A lot of times when you're in a specific niche, depending on what you post, that is what is going to attract said people. So let's say that you are, like, for instance, with me being an executive brand manager, I do have a lot of executive brand managers who follow me because they want another perspective on the same genre that we are in. So I do have a lot of PR people, executive brand managers, marketing folks, things like that, because they want to understand and get more insight. So I have a lot of those folks who follow me on my different social platforms, especially my podcast. All right. So think about your audience. Who is your target audience? If you sell services, let's say you're a nail tech, then you need to be posting things that people who want to get their nails done need, right? Yesterday was Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday. You put up information that is going to give people wisdom on what it is that you do in your company, what it is, the services that you provide, however it is that you want to, go down that road. That's what you need to be doing. If you're posting a whole bunch of comedy stuff and you are a person that sells services and you're a nail tech, what does that have to do with your business? And you wonder why business is not connecting to you. So you have to be, conscious of what you post. And there are some things that should be posted in stories and other things posted on the timeline. If I'm going to dinner, having a grand old time, I'm posting, hanging with my friends, or we went to a concert or roller skating or whatever it is. Put that in your stories. That's what stories are for. Stories, the name itself, tells you exactly what that medium is for. It's to tell a story through posting different slides. So if you post 3 to 5 slides of you going to dinner with your friends, just 5 pictures, 3 to 5 pictures, right? Or maybe like 5 to 7 pictures if it's a little bit longer, to tell a story, right? On your timeline, things that are on your timeline are pretty much, they're on your timeline forever until you delete them. So that's not a place that you want to put things like, kicking it up in Vegas and all that sort of stuff. Those sort of things could be on your timeline if it's a private page or personal page, right? But when it comes to your business, do things and post things and think about things that have to do with attracting your customers. So they want tips on things. They want tips on how to better take care of their nails. They want tips if you're in the auto business, mechanics. They want tips on how to clean your car of scratches, get rid of scratches on your car. How do you best keep the paint job up on your house if you're in contracting? Things like that. I'm just throwing out different genres of businesses and that people may own. So if you want to attract people who want to get their houses painted, then you need to post that type of information. How do you take care of the paint outside your house? How do you winterize your house? How do you get ready for the summer with your house? How do you clean the gutters of your house? When you give those type of tips, you will start to attract homeowners who want to have things done to their home. Make sense? Okay. So that is, who is this for? Your target audience. Okay. Why is the information that you are sharing? What about it is important? What about it has a significance to? Right? What about this is so important that you need to share it? Well, if you are a services person or even a product person, like I said before in a previous podcast earlier this week, you need to solve a problem. This goes for any business. I don't care what business you're in. You need to solve a problem. If you are a plumber, you solve the problem of unclogging people's pipes. That is a problem that always needs to be solved all the time, wherever you are. Right? So if you're a plumber, you need to know how to deal with that. Everything needs a solution, right? Everything that we do in life, if it needs a solution, you can provide that solution. And once you start providing that solution, people are going to start giving you business. If you are great at talking, if you are great at giving advice, like yours truly, start a podcast and teach people. Give people some knowledge, right? If it goes into, in-depth knowledge, say, hey, thank you for listening to my podcast. If you want deeper knowledge on this, one-on-one help, go to my website, www.onyxqueenmedia.com, and book a 1-hour session. Right? When you book that 1-hour session, you will be able to pick my brain and figure out what it is or where you need to be. And I will also take a look at your brand and we can see where you are and give you suggestions. Right? So for you, if you are a coach and you're listening to this, if you're a PR person or another brand manager or whatever, this is the sort of thing that you should be monetizing in your business. Right? We can't do these 3-hour conversations for free. You are helping people solve problems. You are helping them navigate through their business. Right? So if you're going to do that, charge accordingly. Don't be afraid to charge for that. I think, a 15-minute free session just to give an overview of what we do over here, and then you can tell me what it is that you are trying to do. Once we go past that, you need to pay for some sort of 1-hour consultation. We also have a branding boot camp. We have all different types of things that you can do, right? So really think, why is what you are saying, why is it important? Because you're trying to make money. You're trying to, get business. You're trying to expand or grow your bottom line. Okay? All right. So the next thing is, how is this, what you post, how is it going to benefit your audience? So again, are you trying to teach them? Are you trying to make them laugh? Is it entertainment? Right? Are you trying to grow your bottom line? So how does it benefit your audience? So think about that before you go randomly posting stuff. How does that benefit people? Because so many times we'll see quotes. This is a stickler for me. Every time somebody sees a quote, they throw the quote up because it has something to do with their life. Really make sure that quote makes sense for the genre that you are in. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. You always hear people say that. Make it make sense. Right? Okay. Let's see what the next thing is. Okay. When is my audience online? Folks, let me tell you what you could do right now, especially for Instagram. You go on Instagram, you're looking at your bio and the front page of your Instagram, right? Go up in the upper right-hand corner and click those 3 dashes or wherever, if it's you're on Android or whatever, you want to get to your settings. When you get to your settings, you want to click on account. And when you go to account, you want to switch to creator. I know they have 3 different modes. There's personal, there's business, and there's creator. Let me tell you something. If you're trying to make the decision between business and creator, go with creator. And the reason why I say this is because creator accounts have much more analytics that will break down the top cities that are tuning into you. When I say tuning in, I mean, coming to your Instagram, the top cities, the times that they are on. Why are you posting at 2:00 in the morning and your audience is not looking? It don't make sense. If your audience is on at 8:00 in the morning, and that is when people tend to look at your content, you need to be posting at 8:00 in the morning, and not 8:00 in the morning every day. It really depends on the day. Also, pay attention to what is going on in the world. If you know you got this funny quote that you want to put up and it's so hilarious and if something happens in the world that affects you switching up your posts, don't get so stuck in a routine that you're not flexible to make changes. When we had the back-to-back violence that went on in New York and in Texas, I switched up all the posts that I had ready to go out. The climate, the atmosphere has now changed. So be wary of that. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to that. Don't be a cold, heartless company where there's major things happening in the world and you are acting like they're not happening. I understand that people don't want to be political on their accounts. They don't want to alienate people or whatever. But you know what? If you have a stance on something as a company and you want to voice it, feel free to voice it. Or just say, you know what? I respect other people's opinions. Because I will say this, I will do business with folks and I don't necessarily have to love their opinion on something, but as long as they respect me and I respect them, that's a respectable exchange. But when you tell me, oh no, you are wrong, that's not the way it is, or I say that to somebody else, no, that's not respect. You're always going to work with people in business who are the complete opposite of who you are. You could work with somebody in business who don't believe in God, who's an atheist. That's very hard for me to take, but let me tell you, this is the world that we live in. That doesn't mean that the person is not a good person. It doesn't mean they don't know how to do business. It doesn't mean that we can't collab on something, but we just have to respect where each other is. And 9 times out of 10, when you talk to people and discover why they are maybe so adverse to something, most of the time there's a reason behind it. Most of the time there's something in their childhood or their growing up or their formidable years which caused them to feel so strongly about a specific subject matter, especially when it's more controversial, So I don't write people off because they're not like me or they don't look like me or they don't act like me. No. Some of those opposites, how they say opposites attract, some of those opposites make the best collabs. And it could teach you about yourself as well. Because we're in this world to learn from each other. What would it be if everybody was the same? Nah, that's not how that works. All right? So the next thing is, this is the final thing. Where should people go? Where are you sending them? What is the CTA? If you don't know what CTA is in business, you're going to learn it today. It is called the call to action, right? CTA. C is in cat, T is in Tom, A is in apple. What is your CTA? What is the call to action? Where do you want people to go after they have absorbed your content? If you notice at the end of this podcast, every episode, I say, like, share, subscribe to this podcast, share this podcast, tag me on social media, on Instagram, and I will, repost you for a shout out. I say that at the end of all of my podcast episodes because I'm giving people a call to action. Right? So you can go over there and meet me on the gram. That's a call to action. Sometimes you're telling people, click the link in my bio. Sometimes you're sending people, check my latest story. Right? There's so many different ways to give call to actions. Even in my bio, I have a call to action in my bio for people to click on the link in my bio. Put the call to action in your bio. Put the call to action in your caption to let people know what they need to do next. How are we going to engage with each other? Got tongue twisted there for a second. How are we going to engage with each other after this post has been read and you have now moved on? Okay? So let me give the rundown again. What's the purpose of the post? Who is your target audience? Who is the post for? Why is it important? Where do you want people to go next? What's the call to action? How does that post benefit your audience? And when is your audience active online? Okay? So that was just giving you a little bit of rundown to think about before you post something on social media, especially, this is especially for my business folks, but it can move in any circle. It could even be for your personal social medias, but especially for my business people. Think about those points and make it make sense before you hit publish or before you hit post. Okay? Because I think that is going to help you tremendously and cut down on some of the minutia that we see online. That some of the things like, why did they post that? It doesn't even make sense. Make your posts more meaningful. And that's going to make people want to come back to your Instagram as well. Come back to your Facebook. Come back to your Twitter. Because now you've become sort of the expert on a particular subject matter. They want to learn. People love learning. Even people who hate school, they love learning. They love discovering something new. So think about what you post before you hit that button to put it up. Make your posts more robust than they have been in the past. And I promise you will start to see a difference and you'll start to see a shift in the folks who are following you. All right, you guys. Here's my call to action. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Tag me on Instagram at Onyx Queen Media. Let me know that you are listening. Let me know that you have shared this podcast, and I will post you in my stories as a shout out. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With 1 click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.